What if I told you that Vikings discovered Antarctica 1,000 years before modern explorers? Recently uncovered runic stones in Greenland contain detailed descriptions of a massive ice continent at the bottom of the world. This is the proof that rewrites exploration history. In 2018, melting permafrost in eastern Greenland revealed a collection of runic stones buried for centuries. These weren't ordinary Viking markers. They contained navigation instructions to a land called Helluland, or White Land, located at the world's southern edge. The stones described a journey requiring 60 days of sailing through increasingly cold waters, following specific star patterns visible only in winter. The destination was described as a land of eternal ice larger than all known kingdoms combined. The runic inscriptions reveal the existence of an elite Viking navigators guild called the Stjörnufarar, the Star Travelers. These master navigators possessed knowledge of southern sea routes that official history claims were impossible for medieval sailors. Guild records describe specialized ice-breaking techniques and cold-weather survival methods that allowed Vikings to navigate frozen seas. They developed thermal clothing systems and ice-resistant ship modifications centuries before such technology was officially invented. The most detailed runic account comes from Thorvald Icewalker, who led an expedition in 1362 with 4 longships and 120 warriors. His mission was to find new hunting grounds beyond the known world's southern limits. Thorvald's logs describe sailing past floating ice mountains and encountering seals larger than polar bears. After 53 days, they reached a coastline of pure white cliffs stretching beyond the horizon in all directions. The Vikings named their landing site Jökulstrand, Glacier Beach. They found the land completely covered in ice, with no trees or vegetation. The cold was so intense that their breath froze instantly, and their weapons became brittle as glass. Despite the harsh conditions, Thorvald ordered his men to explore inland for 3 days. They discovered massive ice formations, strange rock structures, and what they described as mountains that touched the sky, likely Antarctica's towering peaks. 15 miles inland, the Vikings found valleys completely free of snow, warmed by underground heat sources. In these areas, they discovered ancient stone structures that clearly weren't natural formations. The runic stones describe buildings made from black stone, partially buried in ice. Some chambers were still accessible, containing artifacts that the Vikings couldn't identify, tools and symbols from an unknown civilization. Thorvald's men collected dozens of mysterious objects from the Ice Valley ruins. These included metallic tablets with unknown writing, crystalline formations that generated heat, and stone carvings depicting creatures unlike any known animals. Most puzzling were star charts carved in stone that showed constellation positions from thousands of years earlier. The Vikings realized they had discovered evidence of a civilization that existed long before their own. Among the artifacts, the Vikings found scrolls written on an unknown material that resisted both fire and ice. When translated, these texts described advanced navigation techniques and knowledge of global geography that shouldn't have existed in ancient times. The scrolls contained maps showing all the world's continents with shocking accuracy, including detailed coastlines of lands no medieval explorer had ever seen. Antarctica was marked as the Southern Shield, a frozen barrier protecting something beneath. After establishing supply caches and marking their route with runic stones, Thorvald's expedition began the dangerous return journey. 2 ships were lost to ice storms, but the survivors carried back proof of their incredible discovery. The return voyage took 78 days due to worsening weather conditions. The Vikings had to navigate by memory through ice fields that shifted constantly, using techniques they had learned from the ancient scrolls. Upon reaching Iceland, Thorvald convened a secret council of Viking chieftains to decide the fate of their discovery. The ancient artifacts and their implications were deemed too dangerous for common knowledge. The council decided to hide the discovery, fearing that knowledge of Antarctica's ancient civilization would destabilize their own society. They buried the artifacts and swore blood oaths never to reveal the location publicly. Despite the council's secrecy oath, Thorvald's nephew Magnus Stormcross organized a second expedition in 1398 with 3 ships and 90 warriors. His mission was to retrieve more artifacts and explore deeper into Antarctica's mysterious ice valleys. Magnus discovered an entire underground city preserved beneath the ice, complete with advanced machinery that still functioned after millennia. His crew found crystalline power sources and metallic devices that defied all known Viking technology. The last recorded Viking expedition to Antarctica occurred in 1487, led by Eric Frostbeard with two specially reinforced ice-breaking ships. They found that advancing glaciers had sealed most entrances to the underground ruins. Eric's men managed to salvage the most valuable artifacts before the ice completely buried the ancient civilization forever. They returned with star maps, energy crystals, and technological blueprints that would influence Viking innovations for generations. Despite the official secrecy, runic records show that at least 6 more Viking expeditions reached Antarctica between 1362 and 1487. Each mission brought back more artifacts and evidence of the continent's mysterious past. These later expeditions discovered that Antarctica's ice was slowly advancing, burying more of the ancient ruins each year. The Vikings realized they were witnessing the final stages of a process that had been ongoing for millennia. Satellite surveys have identified anomalous objects in Antarctica's dry valleys that match Viking descriptions exactly. Ground-penetrating radar reveals metallic signatures consistent with Norse weapons and tools, buried under centuries of ice accumulation. In 2019, a research team found Viking-style iron rivets in ice cores, dating to the 14th century. The metal composition matches samples from known Viking archaeological sites, proving Norse presence in Antarctica 500 years before official discovery. Multiple governments have restricted access to areas of Antarctica where Viking artifacts have been found. Official explanations cite environmental protection, but leaked documents reveal concerns about historical implications. Several prominent archaeologists have requested permission to investigate Viking sites in Antarctica, only to have their applications mysteriously denied. The international community seems determined to maintain the official exploration timeline. Ice core analysis reveals that Antarctica experienced a brief warming period during the 14th century, exactly when Viking expeditions occurred. This climatic window made the voyages possible before the continent became completely inaccessible. The timing suggests Vikings took advantage of natural climate cycles to reach Antarctica during a rare period of reduced ice coverage. They may have been the only people in history to see parts of the continent in an ice-free state. The ancient structures found by Vikings suggest Antarctica once supported an advanced civilization that existed before the Ice Age. This discovery challenges everything we know about human history and continental development. Recent deep ice drilling has uncovered more evidence supporting Viking accounts. Samples from beneath the ice sheet contain artificial materials and worked stone that predate any known civilization by thousands of years. The Vikings didn't just raid and explore, they were the first humans to set foot on Antarctica and discover evidence of our planet's hidden history. Their secret expeditions prove that history is written by those brave enough to venture beyond the known world, even if the truth must wait centuries to be revealed.